What's going on, everybody? So another cigar talk. It's a different background. I wasn't able to drive to the place I was last time, so we're going to do it where I'm at now. But I got my phone out because I have a few people's messages I want to go over and look at things that they brought up to me that they wanted me to talk about specifically. One was nutrition. So I know I've discussed about nutrition a couple times, but not quite deep dive. So I don't know if I'll go all the way depth into the bottom of the ocean about nutrition, but part of what I would say really got me to feel that extra amount better during my workout, during my day, felt more just, the energy was more clear and steady and reliable, was I just started simply eating healthier foods. Now people will say, go on keto and all this other stuff, which you can try things. Definitely try different diets, but my personal belief is that we're supposed to eat a mainly protein diet. And what do I mean by that? I mean meat, so fish, beef, chicken, so elk. If you haven't ever had elk, get some elk back straps. They're freaking phenomenal. And guess what? Rich in protein. And they taste absolutely phenomenal. But a lot of people say, well, eating healthy is more expensive. Well, let me tell you something. I really don't believe that, and I'll tell you why. Because I've actually sat down and done the math. I've calculated out it is actually not cheaper to eat like crap than it is to eat healthy. It's actually cheaper to eat healthy. Reason being why? If you literally sit down and put a big old steak on your plate, you put 2 or 3 eggs. And if you want to add something else that's rich in protein, that's good and healthy, scoop or 2 of cottage cheese on your plate. It's absolutely phenomenal, rich in protein. And let me tell you something, after that steak, you're going to be like, oh, I still got 2 eggs to eat. Eat them 2 eggs, I guarantee you it might be a struggle to eat that cottage cheese. Now, I can eat all that, but I'm also a bigger stature of a person than most people. But, again, you sit down, you eat a steak and a couple eggs for any meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, I guarantee you, you're going to be full. You're not going to eat the sides of mac and cheese and beans and pasta. And by the time you buy all that other stuff, it is more expensive, and you don't even realize it. And I would say after about 2 to 3 weeks of eating nothing but meat, eggs, cottage cheese, some fruits, I don't ever really eat vegetables other than garlic and onions and peppers. Other than that, I don't really eat vegetables. That's just my own personal choice. I've never been a big fan of vegetables, but that's just me. So that's how I typically eat, is a main protein diet. That's how I cut weight. Now when I bulk, I don't always bulk the cleanest. And the next time after, so my cutting season is now starting, right? As I'm now losing weight, cutting weight, going into wintertime, which might seem backwards to people, but it's not to me. Just, it works better for me to do it that way. Summertime is my bulking phase, and my bulking phase is eating large amounts of food. Honestly, lots of the food that I eat during the bulking phase isn't healthy. So after this cutting season, any bulking after that is literally going to be in a clean way. No more dirty foods whatsoever. And I would say look into some vitamins, but most vitamins that you buy at stores, which most people won't tell you and most people don't even know, is that a lot of the vitamins in stores are synthetic, and a lot of them most people can't even digest and break down into nutrients. So, do you really want to take those? I don't know. I personally would go with AG1. It's fantastic. Doesn't taste the best, but that's what I personally like to take when I feel like I need some extra vitamins and nutrients. But when you're eating nothing but meats and you're putting a little bit of sea salt, like pink Himalayan sea salt or Baja Gold or Celtic sea salt or real salt in a little bit in your water, or put a little pinch of it on your tongue right before you drink your water, That'll get you all your minerals and everything that you need throughout the day too. A lot of people don't remember that you need your minerals. And where do you get your minerals? From salt. A lot of people don't know that. So that's all I'm really going to go on with the nutrients. Another thing was holding myself accountable and disciplined. So holding myself accountable is, I might have made a TikTok about this, but I'm not sure. But I know that I've said before that every day I make a checklist on my phone and I go down that list and throughout the day, and by the end of the day, if it's not all finished, like, give yourself a deadline. So if you go to bed at 9, give yourself a deadline of 6:30 or 7. If it's not all done by 6:30 or 7, you better go finish those other things, because that'll give you plenty of time to then hopefully go do those things and then still get to bed at your correct time. Discipline, I would say discipline, the more, if you can find small things to start out with, because if you say, I'm going to go run a marathon today, and you force yourself to do it, yeah, you got it done, but you're going to be drained, and then that's a very high, you only have so much, let's just think of it as your battery is fully charged when you wake up in the morning. It's at 100%. You only have so much energy throughout the day. So watch what you use your energy on. So I would say is if you can find small things to keep yourself disciplined in, that will slowly build more and more confidence. Sorry, there's a weird moth getting at me. But the more little things you can discipline yourself in, meaning if you can make yourself start out with 20 minutes before you normally get up, right? 20 minutes before you normally get up. You get up 20 minutes beforehand. Make yourself do 10 push-ups. 10 push-ups. If you got to start on your knees and do female push-ups, do the female push-ups. If you got to lean against the wall and, do push-ups against the wall until you can get to where you can do knee push-ups, do that. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter how fat you are, how skinny you are, how strong you are, how weak you are. There is somewhere where you can start, and you can find that place, and you can do it. But the more little things that you can discipline yourself in, the more confident you'll become, and the more things you can then discipline yourself in. And it snowballs up. It builds a snowball effect, and it helps you to project yourself into more disciplined ways and habits. So I would say that is one thing. Also, holding myself accountable. Again, it goes back to that checklist. And if I didn't do it, it's a funny story, because this past week has been extraordinarily hectic for me, mainly because I put off a couple things this week, and it threw my entire schedule off for the entire week, and it made it feel like I had to play catch up the entire time. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of kicked my ass. I felt like I was always running out of time, out of daylight. I wasn't getting enough done. I was just trying to play catch up 24/7. And the entire week I just felt drained. It kind of sucked. But I stuck in there, kept going, kept pushing myself to where, by the end of the day, I just wanted to crash, fall asleep straight on the floor as soon as I walked in the door of the house. Some might say that's unhealthy, but I don't. For me personally, I think it's more of a gain for me to be more mentally strong than it is physically strong. You want to be physically strong, but if your mental state is not strong, your body's never going to get strong either. So you've got to get mentally strong. So that's how I keep myself disciplined and accountable. Again, with that check sheet, making sure I get everything done. Also, if there's a habit that I have, let's say, we'll use smoking for instance. If you smoke cigarettes or vape, okay, and you're like, I find myself doing it often. Tell yourself, okay, for the next 3 days, I'm not going to vape, I'm not going to smoke, I'm not going to do whatever it is, drink, whatever it is. I'm going to take these next 3 days, and I'm not going to do it. And if you find yourself like, oh man, I really want it, then you automatically take another 3 weeks. 3 weeks. You can't, and if you also fail within those 3 days, now you have to go 3 weeks. And if you go the 3 weeks, can't do it, you fail or whatever it is, now you got to spend the next month. So now you're looking at, 5 weeks, 5, 6 weeks of not doing that to get yourself away from that habit. If it's controlling you, you got to get rid of it. You can't allow things to control you. You have to be self-reliant upon your mental strength to not do it. Another reason why I like cigars, though, is because I never found myself like, oh man, I really want a cigar. Never happens. Never happens. Like, yeah, you might think of like, oh, I'd like to have a cigar. It sounds kind of nice. But you don't get a weird, like, I don't know, some people, they can't go more than an hour without hitting their vape or smoking a cigarette. And you got to get out of those kind of habits. So mental health was another one that someone brought up something. And it is a deep conversation. But mental health, that is something that most people might not talk about. But also, it's something that everybody deals with. I don't give a rat's ass who you are. Everyone struggles somehow, some way, okay? And I'm not perfect. Yeah, I go to the gym 99% of the time when I say I'm going to go. But you know what? 80% of the time that I do make it, I might stare at my shoes 15 to 30 minutes before I ever even actually go. That's just the truth and honesty. Yes, it's me contemplating with myself, but the more you do it, the more you're then willing to do it the next time. And if you give in to saying, oh, I'm going to do it later, or I'll do it tomorrow, or it just becomes a habit, and that also can snowball. So either you want to snowball with great habits, or you want to snowball with bad habits. It's going to be ultimately your decision, your choice. But with mental health, I have found that if I give in temptations of anything, or being weak, or putting things off, or not doing things when I'm not supposed to, my mental state is not where it should be. I'm off, the day's off, the week's off, everything is off. And then I'm a little bit more aggravated, a little bit more moody per se, and I'm not as charismatic, I'm not as funny and caring and thoughtful as I normally am, because I'm thinking of like, oh fuck, you're behind on this, you should have done that, blah blah blah. And it's that voice in the back of your head that's saying, oh well, yeah, you should have done that. And then you're kind of beating yourself up a little bit. Beating yourself up, it's not really good. It's good in the sense that at least you know that you're not doing the right thing. So you're holding yourself somewhat accountable, but you can't allow you to actually like beat yourself up over it though. You must overcome that and just understand that, oh hey, yeah, I should have done better, and just simply done more. But I don't know, mental health. It is a tricky thing, because it is a slippery slope, because not everyone's the same, not everyone has the same thing going on, and everyone has different demons. And when I say demons, I mean demons, because everyone struggles with things, and everyone fights things that most people wouldn't know, wouldn't guess, couldn't guess. You would never even imagine what most people actually struggle with and what's in the back of their heads. But you can't let that control you though either. You must overcome it, whatever it is. You've got to push yourself through it. So another thing that somebody brought up was that they said, why does it actually feel so weird now that they've decided to run? And I thought that was interesting. And it was weird because I don't know exactly how they feel, but they come from a different background, a little bit different of a background than I do. And so after running or during running, they feel weird. And it's because simply you're doing something that you're not used to doing. And also, probably in the back of your mind, maybe this is their case, maybe it's not. In the back of my mind, when I first started running or riding my bike or walking or jogging or working out, I used to be extremely self-conscious. And this kind of ties into the mental health aspect. I used to be extremely self-conscious of what other people thought. And I always thought, oh, I'm going to look dumb if I'm doing this, or when I was ultra fat, I used to think like, oh yeah, they're just like, oh, what's this fat person doing here? Or why are they even trying? And in all reality, most people are like, heck yeah, at least he's out there freaking getting it. But it also goes back to you're doing now something that you're not usually doing. You're progressing, and it's also another safety mechanism that your body and your brain has, is that it's saying, hey, whoa, what are you doing here? We don't do this. This isn't what we do. We haven't done this. And it's going to try to trick you to keep you from doing that because your body and your mind are uncomfortable doing the running or the working out or the exercise. Our brains want comfortability, and we've gotten it, especially in the way life is nowadays. People want to always be comfortable, what's the easiest, and our brains have gotten extremely saturated in just wanting that. So when you're starting to run or exercise or eat healthy, all these things tie in together to mental health. But it's your body, it's the demons, it's everything else that's trying to play tricks on you to keep you safe and comfortable. No, let's not do that. Let's go relax on the couch. That sounds better. It's nice over there. It's relaxing. It's comfortable. Your body and your mind will tell you that because that is true. But you know what else is true? You're going to stay the same. You're not going to accomplish anything. And you're not going to get any further sitting your ass on that couch or eating those donuts or eating whatever it is that you fall into temptation to, or if you're watching explicit content that you shouldn't be doing because you're married and you shouldn't be anyways because God's watching at all times. That's also another thing that keeps me accountable. And that makes me feel ultra guilty. If I fall into any temptation, I don't know what it is, like if I drank or anything like that, I will feel guilt because I want to make God proud of me, who I am, and I also want a better future. And if I'm making actions or taking actions or making decisions that aren't for God and aren't for my future, I'm going to feel bad inside. And that then ties into your confidence, your mental health, everything else, just like that. It all comes together. So the way you eat will affect your mental health. The way you sleep will affect your mental health. The way you exercise and go throughout the rest of the day and throughout all of your life will all tie into your mental health. And I know that sounds like a lot, but a lot can affect your mental health and your mental state. But I will say though, when I first started running, it did feel weird because I haven't been doing it unless I had to do it in weights class in high school, or I had to run because I was trying to go get something or whatever, it is when you're camping and doing something. But again, you can't give in to what you always want to do. You need to just do what you need to do. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, no matter whether you want to do it or not. And if you really want to up your mental health level, is doing what needs to be done, whether you want to do it or not, but doing it as if you love it. If you can make yourself do that, you will go so much further and you'll feel so much better. But another thing about like nutrition, I want to step back real quick about nutrition, is drinking plenty of water every day. But not just drinking plenty of water, making sure you have a little bit of salt, just a little pinch of salt, and make sure it is the Celtic sea salt, Baja Gold, or like real salt, or at least pink Himalayan sea salt. Little pinch of that with your water, because that's how your minerals go into your body, and that's how your body has actually been able to use the water. Because if you're just drinking tons of water, you'll pee it all out. It won't do you any good. And also another thing that will definitely help boost your sleep, energy, your physical workouts, your energy levels of just feeling good is creatine. Creatine does miracles. It's freaking awesome. It's great. I love it. It's fantastic. You can get it for real cheap at Walmart. There's a brand that I use personally. It's Instatize Creatine. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but that's who I use. But it is fantastic. And yeah, I would say that's probably going to be all for this video. Again, once a week, I will be making these videos and uploading them. I don't know if they'll always upload on Sundays, but sometimes they might upload on Mondays, just given schedule wise, and also how long it takes to upload things sometimes can vary. Internet's crazy, things happen, but I will always do my most to upload it even on Sunday, and if it's not on Sunday, it will be on Monday. But I want to thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for the ones that reached out and told me some questions that they kind of had and things that they wanted me to talk about. And yeah, that's some of my personal experiences. And if there's anything that you guys ever want to hear me talk about or discuss, shoot me a message, comment down below, get a hold of me. We can always chat in person too. So thank you all for watching. See y'all later.